Okay, we'll reconvene into the business session of the Port Edwards Public Schools Board of Education meeting. First item is a report from student representatives and student and staff recognition.
Okay, well, I'm Abby Akowski. I'm a senior here at JEHS, and I'm in basketball, volleyball, softball, and basically all the other clubs. And I plan to go to Carroll University for college this year. Okay, so I'd like to start off with this week. The high school has done a Spirit Week. We had Monday as Twin Day, Tuesday was Teacher Look-alike Day, and Wednesday was the Color Day, which means that you wear the color like if you're crushing or you're single or if you're in a relationship. And tomorrow will be Nerd Day. And we'll be ending the festivities with a semi-formal Valentine's dance on Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Okay, I'm Jade Martin, and I'm a junior, and I'm involved in volleyball, basketball, and track, and every other club. And my future plans is to major in pre-dentistry. Do not know what college yet. And right now, the girls' basketball record is 15-6. Playoffs start next week, Tuesday at 7 versus Marion. We'll be hosting hopefully the first 2 rounds. Our second game this week is tomorrow against Pacelli to see who gets second place in conference. Boys right now are 14-6, and their next game is Friday at Pacelli, and next week Thursday at Almond to end their conference season. And then also in our sports and entertainment marketing class, we made radio commercials to advertise our sports teams in the school and hope to advertise them over the loudspeaker at some point.
How'd you do in forensics?
Pretty well. We had a lot of people. Oh yeah, forensics. I forgot that one. We had a meet on Monday at Almond. Everyone placed either first or second, so a lot of people came in with either medals or ribbons. I think my group got second. We came in with red ribbon, and it was all good. I think there's little things we need to prove on before we actually go into competition. But otherwise, I think we're good, and our next meet is next Monday.
Has there always been forensics, or was it
It's always been forensics, but this year we've increased in numbers a lot. I think we have about at least 20 kids. Because we have like 3 different play acting groups, and that consists of 4 people. And then we have a lot of singles or duels.
Any other questions?
Just like to add that the music department is having their traditional winter concert on Tuesday, March 6th, I believe is the date, and that'll be at 7 o'clock at the Dorothy Alexander Auditorium. And that group is, we've got our middle school and high school bands and choirs, so.
All right, thank you very much for your report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Next item is President's Report. All the board members are in attendance but Leo. He's got an excused absence. And next item is recognition of DPI proclamations. We have 3 of them. I'll just give you the highlights of some of them. The 3. First proclamation is Skills USA. As DPI is designated February 4th through the 10th, 2018 as Skills USA Week. And Skills USA is a state and national organization for students preparing for technical, skilled, and service occupations in high schools, technical colleges, and universities. And the next proclamation is Career and Technical Education Month, which is the month of February. Tony Evers has declared that. And Career and Technical Education increases graduation rates and improves academic performance through meaningful experiences. And the next proclamation is Future Business Leaders of America, Phi Beta Lambda, and it's a nonprofit education association representing the largest business career student organization in the world, with 250,000 students preparing for careers in business and business-related fields. And that is February 4th through the 10th is FBLA week. So we have those 3. And our next board meeting is Wednesday, March 14th. So next on the agenda is administrative reports. Kyle?
Thank you. This week I'm just going to report briefly, this week on Friday we do have our February staff in service, and we will be dividing and conquering really amongst the staff. We have an initial session on wellness and health with CISA doing some presentation for our staff, and then we'll be breaking up into building levels. The elementary staff will be working on responsive classroom. The high school staff will be working on, some of the high school and middle school staff will be working on restorative practices, the teachers who hadn't gotten to that level yet in their learning. We'll be also having some staff working on ACT, and our career and technical education folks will be taking a stab at getting caught up on things they need to as well in their area. So we've got quite a bit going on across the board with the in-service. With that, so I'm going to keep it short, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bruno, who's just going to talk for a couple minutes about career and technical education since it is CTE month.
Okay, I'm here representing both the business department and the tech ed departments. Gary was not able to make it this evening, so I have his notes. So for business education, the summary, we have the WICPA Accounting Careers Grant that was awarded to John Edwards in the amount of $1,980. 12 students will participate in a trip to Miller Park in April through that grant. The CTE Incentive Grant was also awarded this year, amount yet to be determined, potential of $1,000 for that one. The Perkins Grant, which is a federally awarded grant, we were awarded $3,000 for that one. The Tech Prep Mini Grant, anticipating award of $1,400. The Youth Apprenticeship Mini Grant, we are anticipating an award of up to $1,000. The Publications Fundraiser, $132. We also have many youth apprenticeships this year. We have 4 students, up 1 from the previous year. We have Ian Gibbs, which is doing the IT apprenticeship apprenticeship. We have Caitlin Lip doing the banking and finance. We have Garrett Ingram doing a manufacturing, and we also have Caleb Klein doing manufacturing. We also have school to work and employability skills. We have 3 students this year, up from 0 in the previous year. We have Dallas Buck, Weston Markley, and Daniel Spalding doing those. This year also we have FBLA. 7 students qualified for the State Leadership Conference in La Crosse in April as a result of a 3rd place finish or higher at the recent Regional Leadership Conference in Athens. The events that they placed in were Public Service Announcement, Luke Maher, Logan Gessert, and Addison Gibbs placed in there. Web Design, Taylor Fote and Emily Wilcox. And then the Broadcast Journalism, Megan Shields and Molly McCarthy. FBLA is currently planning a fundraiser and a community service event coming up. And then MOS certification, we have 1 student this year, up from 0 students in the previous year, and that would be Crystal Rezepka. For technology education area, we have our Skills USA area, or Skills USA organization, a chapter here. This year for our membership, we currently have 11 members in our chapter. That is an increase from last year's membership by about 2 students. We have the highest number of female members seen in 5 years also this year. We have 4 female members that are active. For fundraising, due to the extensive fundraising this year, we have had also the highest account balance that we've seen in 5 years. The money will be used to help offset the cost of going to different events such as competitions or other leadership events offered for the students through Skills USA. This year we are hoping to send a few students to the state conference for technical related events. And that's normally about $100 to $150 per student. So the fundraising will definitely help the students out in that aspect. For the technology education department itself, we have definitely been able to upgrade in the past few years. Over the past 5 years, we've updated half of our department, approximately 15 to 20 years worth of technology. That brings us a lot closer to what industry is expecting of us. The areas that have seen the most updates have been in the woodworking, engineering, robotics, and graphic design courses. Thanks to the PEEF organization, we were able to purchase a 3D printer 3 years ago, a CNC router 2 years ago, and a motor upgrade for the CNC router this past year. Due to the upgrades and the various opportunities available, many students have been more invested in my courses that we offer at the school district. We have been able to assist the community as well with various different projects, such as the Butterfly House located downtown, and also the buddy benches that are located here at the elementary school. We were able to manufacture those. We have one really cool upcoming event here starting out in April. We will be offering adult education courses through Midstate and the Technology Education Department here. The first course that will be offered will be an Introduction to Woodworking course, and it will be for adult community members. So I think that's a very good program that we can start here.
Yeah, we were able to work up a memorandum of understanding with Midstate. We are hosting as the site. They are actually running the course. So,
Thank you.
Now, is FBLA, is this the first year that that's what I remembered,
Yep.
so that's.
the other CTE area, and I'll just mention, is Family and Consumer Education with Ms. Rubishki. And again, in those areas, she too has been awarded some grants over the last couple of years to enhance some of what she does in the classroom with the students, as well as getting the students out and about to see various, whether it be in the child care area, food service area. So.
All right. Very good, thanks, Steve. Next item is report on elementary activities in K through 2 ELA curriculum study. Kara?
I'll start with the elementary activities. Aside from sending kids home all sugared up today after Valentine's Day, we've also been doing some Winter Olympics activities. We had an opening ceremony on Friday, which was the same day as the opening ceremonies. The kids all wore red, white, and blue. And Miss Grayway made a torch that was amazing, looked just, well, minus the flame, it was tissue paper, but looked just like the torch that they carried at the opening ceremonies. And all the kids went outside the building and they drew names for which student of each class got to carry the torch and hand it off. And then they all kind of gathered and ended up over on the kindergarten playground side. And we had Megan Shields come and sing the national anthem. And the kids it was great. They did a wonderful job and they were excited. They asked if they could do it again. Can we do it another time? So yes. In addition to that, tomorrow, our kindergartners already went to the ice rink tomorrow. Our first and second graders are going to go to the Southwood County Rec Center. The hockey team, the River Kings, some of their athletes will come and help them skate, and they do some things with kind of like a mini curling thing with milk jugs, and they get to see the Zamboni, and then they talk about a bunch of other Jim Arnold, who's our the rink, he manages the rink. He does a great program for kindergartners, and we asked him if he could expand it to our first and second graders with the Olympics. So they will be headed to the rink tomorrow, and our third and fourth graders are going curling. They are going to the curling club next week, I believe. We contacted them, and they are going to do a demonstration and let the kids try curling. And they're also doing a science unit on force and motion, so they're going to work that right into the science unit as well. We are also going to have a closing ceremonies. Mr. Burno, speaking of tech ed, has offered to make medals for every student using his laser, what's it called?
Engraver.
Laser engraver. And the kids walked over there the other day, and he showed them the process. And so for our closing ceremonies, every kid will get their own medal. So, yeah. As far as the K2 curriculum goes, we have been talking about our English Language Arts curriculum at K4 for quite a while now. Our K2 teachers do an amazing job with our reading, writing, language arts. However, we don't really have a solid curriculum. They pull a lot of stuff and they do a wonderful job and give the kids what they need. But we've been looking into something that has a little bit more consistency. and one of the companies we've looked at to purchase from is called Super Kids, and it is the full package. It's spelling, it's writing, it's reading, it's comprehension, it's literacy, and currently Wausau School District is using it, and their reading scores doubled at some schools after they implemented it. So we took a group, last week we took half of the K2 teachers and our Natalie Brown and Max Ayers to look at the special ed to go to Grant Elementary School, which is also a Title I school, to see how they do it. And then this week, the other half of K2 went to Stettin in Wausau to see how they're implementing the program, and it was very impressive. I've never seen kindergartners have handwriting like that in my life, and spelling is amazing. So it's not the only program we're going to look at, but it's the one that the teachers have gotten on board with the most. I've looked into Lucy Calkins. She's very expensive. I would love to do that, but cost is going to be a factor. So we're in the process of getting quotes for Super Kids, looking at a couple other things. It's only K2, and then we'd like to start with that and then add on 3-4 after that, because 3-4 does have the Treasure series right now, and K2 is really where we need that basic reading comprehension and fluency, and that's where the kids really learn to read and write is K2. So there'll be more to come with that, but so far so good. So that's it.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? All right, next item is number 7, questions and comments from people in attendance. Anyone? Hearing none, we'll move on. To the consent agenda, number 8, consider approval of minutes of the past meeting.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, consider approval of financial reports. Are there any gifts?
Yes, there are 2 gifts. Last week or the week before, the drama club received a wedding dress from the 1950s to be used for the drama program. It was quite the topic of discussion as it hung in the office for a few days. And the other one is from Brandon and Rebecca Banneman from Port Edwards. They donated a $300 to the school district to go toward the school lunch program. And they asked us to direct funds to delinquent accounts and/or to fund accounts where there is a need. So that was quite nice.
Are they just new residents of Port? I think
Yes,
so.
and it doesn't sound like they're, yeah, geez, they like to do good deeds.
It's wonderful.
All right, with those gifts, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the financial reports.
I so moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. There is no unfinished business, so move on to new business. Number 11, consider approval of varsity baseball coach Shane Steltenpool.
Mr. Crandall and I reviewed Mr. Steltenpool's credentials and qualifications, and highly recommend him for the position of baseball coach. He's very excited to take this on. So.
I'll make a motion to approve Shane Steltenpool for the baseball coach.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Happy he wants to do it.
Yeah. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 12, consider approval of assistant baseball coach Ben Martinson.
Again, Mr. Crandall and I recommend Mr. Martinson to take on that assistant baseball position. He brings, he probably brings what Mr. Steltenpool lacks, in that Mr. Steltenpool doesn't have the institutional knowledge of the baseball program. Mr. Martinson, being heavily involved in youth baseball, certainly does in Port Edwards. So we recommend that for approval.
I will make the motion to approve Ben Martinson as the assistant baseball coach.
Second it.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 13, consider approval of assistant softball coach, Maxwell Ayers.
Credentials aren't quite there.
Mr. Crandall and I, again, highly recommend Mr. Ayers, who's probably getting red-faced over there now. We highly recommend him to assist us in the softball program. Again, he brings a lot of baseball, softball knowledge to the table, and did well in the position last year as a volunteer. So,
I so move his approval.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Next item is consider approval of increase in teacher contract for Diane Gibbs, 0.50 to 0.58.
Yep, so what we have, that increase in contract allows us to split our 8th grade English language arts into 2 sections. So will be 2 sections of that class going. Right now there's 32 or 33 8th grade students. That's a double block section is how that's designed. So the students are with a teacher for 2 class periods. And this will allow us to split that, really try to get a little more in-depth with the students. So we ask for that approval.
I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 14, consider approval of YMCA 4K contract.
We'd ask the approval. We've been operating this year without the formal agreement in place, so we need to put the formal agreement in place. There are a couple of changes in it that allow us as a school district, some say in the teacher position, as well as it has some language that has been changed in terms of how the YMCA or the school district could get out of the contract. So, but I would ask your approval of that. The dollar prices have not changed in several years, so that all remains the same.
I so move. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Consider approval of 2018-2019 CISA 5 service contract.
CISA 5 is the Cooperative Educational Service Agency that we belong to as a school district. That's the area we are in. That contract contains services such as our school psychologist, our director of pupil services, our speech and language teacher. All of those services are purchased through CISA. We don't contract those directly as a district, primarily because we need a school psychologist 1 day a week, and there's no way we could find a person to do 1 day a week. But CISA can hire somebody full-time, and then they split them out between districts. There are some other pieces in there as well, very specific special education services that we pay for depending upon student need, as well as school improvement services. Those services assist us in things like our in-service planning, curriculum design, some of that work that we've done. So the contract does is an increase from a year ago. Primarily that increase is our speech and language area, and that is because of the fact we simply have more students in that area, so we need to increase the time that we have the speech and language instructor here in the building. We'll essentially go from a 3-day a week to a 4-day a week through CISA. So.
I'll make a motion to approve the CISA 5 service contract.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 16, designate board representative to CISA 5 annual convention on May 17th, 2018.
Yeah, each year, because we are a member of CISA 5 and it is a true cooperative, And as a member, the school board gets a vote in the cooperative. So the annual meeting is where the members of the cooperative elect the CISA board and any other voting on the CISA budget and things that they need to do. So it is at the Hotel Mead in Wisconsin Rapids at 7 o'clock on
I'll go.
Thursday, May 17th.
I went last year,
I was
but
gonna say,
I had to
that's
drive
why
to
I was
Portage.
asking Tracy, I thought that,
thought
I
it
knew
was
one of you
important.
two went last year.
Yeah.
So,
But Tracy can go if she wants to.
If you want.
Doesn't matter.
doesn't,
I can do it.
Okay.
So you just need to designate so we can tell them.
I make a
Okay.
motion that we designate Tracy as the representative to attend the CISA 5 annual convention.
Seconded.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Tracy is our representative.
What's nice is you don't have to go to Portage where the CISA office really is. They do it up in Rapids here.
Where did you travel to last time, Kathy? Did you have to travel
I
last
did.
time?
I had to
Or
go
no,
to Portage.
maybe they flip-flop
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
One year it's
I
in-
went to
usually
Portage.
it's Portage.
Yeah.
Lisa gave me really good directions and I got there with no
Yeah.
problem.
All right. 17, opportunity for individual board member comment. Kathy?
I just wanted to point out that we have two of our elementary students featured on the front cover of the Wisconsin Rapids Area Visitors Visitor Guide. And it's the Detlefson boys and the book that their mother is the author of. So I thought that was pretty special. And then I also wanted to just say that there's going to be a new program starting at the elementary school for preschoolers, just a story time. And that's going to be beginning in March. That's it.
Thank you. Gary?
I would just like to comment a little bit on a few of the proclamations, the skills and the was it IT proclamations, and also thank Steve for being a big part of that here. I think that's great, getting those additional students into those types of programs. I love college, we all love college, but that's not necessarily for everybody, and the tech schools and even one-year specific programs can be very good for these students, and it's great to see that the kids are in forensics, the FBLA, great programs to get them out in front of different people, and so appreciate you taking all the extra time that you do with those kids.
I will say the same. For Steve Burnett, it was really good listening to him and all the statistics he had and all the information he had to share with us. That's awesome. I love hearing that and seeing that for our students. And my favorite part of the meeting, again, probably the student representatives. It's neat to see their excitement for the school.
All right.
John?
I was just gonna mention, last month, a few of us went to the state school board convention, and it's always a good opportunity. They have so many good informative sessions and very good speakers, and I would recommend it to anybody that hasn't gone yet.
Who are you
So,
looking at?
just you.
It is great. It is.
So,
I like how you said the few members that attended.
yeah.
Like somebody didn't. And I just couldn't remember who.
With that, we'll establish future board meetings. The next month is March 14th, and you want to schedule April? April would be
The 11th.
April 11th. April 11th sounds good to me. All right, any other comments? Call for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.